Every time you walk into a room, your brain begins calculating. Before you speak, before you smile, before you even realize it. It scans faces, measures tone, predicts status, evaluates safety. And within seconds, you are no longer acting freely. You are adjusting. Here's the unsettling question. If your behavior changes depending on who you're around, then which version of you is real? Tonight, we're breaking down the psychology behind social behavior, explained simply, so you can finally understand why you act differently in different situations and what that reveals about the human mind. Let's start with something simple. You do not behave the same way with your close friend, your boss, your family, or a stranger. And that's not fake, it's adaptive. Social psychology shows that human behavior is deeply shaped by context. Your brain is constantly reading social cues to decide, am I safe here? Am I respected here? Do I belong here? This process happens automatically. One major concept behind this is called self-monitoring. High self-monitors unconsciously adjust tone, posture, humor, and even opinions depending on the group. Low self-monitors behave more consistently across situations. Neither is better, but if you often feel like you're shifting personalities, it's likely your social awareness is highly active. Your brain is optimizing connection. Here's something powerful. According to social baseline theory, the human brain expects to function around other people. Being alone requires more effort from your nervous system. When you're with someone you trust, stress hormones decrease, blood pressure lowers, threat detection reduces. Your brain literally relaxes. But when you're around strangers or people who feel unpredictable, your brain increases surveillance. You become more observant, more careful, more aware. This is not weakness. This is evolutionary design. Humans survived in tribes. Rejection once meant danger, and your nervous system still remembers that. Have you ever replayed a conversation in your head for hours? That's linked to something called the spotlight effect. It's the tendency to overestimate how much other people notice our flaws. Psychological experiments show that people barely notice most of the mistakes we obsess over. But here's why the mind does this. Your brain treats social rejection as a physical threat. The same neural regions involved in physical pain activate during social exclusion. So when you worry about how you looked, what you said, how you were perceived, your brain believes it is protecting you from harm. It's not drama. It's biology. Now here's something surprising. There's a phenomenon called the pratfall effect. It shows that competent people actually become more likable when they make a small mistake. Why? Because perfection creates distance. Imperfection creates relatability. When you stumble over a word, laugh awkwardly, admit you don't know something, you signal humanity. And humans trust humanity more than performance. Which means the very things you try to hide in social situations may be the things that make you most approachable. Have you ever walked into a room feeling fine and left feeling tense? That's not imagination. It's neuroscience. Your brain contains mirror neurons, cells that activate when you observe someone else's emotional state. When someone near you is anxious, your nervous system subtly mirrors it. When someone is calm, your body follows. This is called emotional contagion. Social behavior is not just conversation, it's nervous system synchronization. You are constantly co-regulating with others. This is why some people drain you and others ground you. Some people feel energized after social interaction. Others feel exhausted. This isn't about being antisocial. It's about dopamine and sensory processing. High stimulation environments trigger reward pathways for some individuals. For others, the same stimulation overloads the nervous system. If your social battery drains quickly, your brain likely processes more environmental detail. You pick up tone shifts, facial microexpressions, subtle tension. That awareness consumes energy. You're not weak, you're processing more data. One of the most famous findings in social psychology is conformity. People often agree with a group even when the group is clearly wrong. Why? Because belonging feels safer than isolation. Your brain calculates. Is being correct worth being excluded? And often, it chooses safety. This doesn't mean people lack intelligence. It means social belonging is a primary human need. The desire to fit in is stronger than the desire to be right. Understanding this changes how you judge yourself and others. Social behavior is complex because it's balancing two core drives, the desire to be accepted and the fear of being rejected. Every smile, every pause, every adjustment in tone is part of this invisible dance. You want to be seen, but you don't want to be judged, so your brain constantly negotiates. How much of the real me is safe to show here? and that negotiation is exhausting, especially for deep thinkers. But here's the part most people never realize. The people around you are running the exact same calculations. They are also adjusting, also worrying, also trying to belong. Which means the room you thought was judging you was likely just filled with people protecting themselves. Social behavior is not a battlefield. It's a room full of nervous systems trying to feel safe. So if you've ever felt like you behave differently depending on who you're with, you're not fake, you're adaptive. If you've ever felt self-conscious, you're not broken, you're wired for connection. If social situations feel draining, you're not antisocial, you're sensitive to information. The psychology behind social behavior is not complicated once you see the pattern. It's biology, it's safety, it's belonging. And once you understand that, you stop fighting your wiring. You begin working with it. And perhaps the most freeing realization of all is that authenticity isn't about never adjusting. It's about choosing when to. You don't have to perform. You don't have to perfect yourself. You just have to understand the system your mind is running. And once you do, the social world becomes less mysterious and a little less heavy.